Matt, I'll take this on three different levels and let you address it at whichever one you want, starting with USC, then broadening out to the Pac-12 and then the nation. Has there been anything that's transpired since the teams went to training camp that would make you think any differently? First, again, of USC, then the Pac-12, then the nation, knowing that the information is sparse and what we're able to gather and make a conclusion on is sparse, but still at the same time, based on these first couple of weeks and getting about halfway through training camp, anything that you feel differently about USC, the Pac-12, and the nation?
Yeah, my big picture view on USC has not changed, and what's happened at August camp has not changed my mind. Now, if there is a reason for concern, Trojan fans, it's that Korey Foreman has missed a full week of practice, has not been able to get into pads, get live reps in practice. Like, that's obviously a big deal. Like, they need him to be an impact player. It's pretty obvious why. The stakes are pretty big. He came in as such a highly touted recruit. Like, he needs to provide value, and not getting on the field in August, that's going to keep him back. It's going to keep him from progressing to the point where he can be a significant player, by the time of that Oregon State game, which I keep going to in week 4. If Foreman specifically and the USC defense in general can evolve to a reasonable point by the Oregon State game, and the Trojans can solve that particular puzzle in Corvallis, I think they're set. I think they're going to make the Pac-12 championship game, and they'll have all their goals to play for in late November, early December. So the Foreman story, that is a source of concern. But on other fronts, there's a lot of positive developments. Lincoln Riley has said that the defense has had the upper hand over the offense in camp. That has to be very encouraging, because the defense is definitely the weak side of the ball. And let's deal with the AP poll that came out, Trojan fans. You've seen, once again, as with the Pac-12 media poll vote, as with the coaches poll vote, also in the AP poll, 3 for 3, USC placed behind both Utah and specifically Oregon. Now, Utah being ahead of USC, I really don't disagree with. I think that's probably appropriate based on where the two programs stand right now. But USC being voted behind Oregon in all 3 polls, Pac-12 media, coaches poll, AP poll, you have a Bo Nix team ranked ahead of a Caleb Williams team. So what does that say? What does that tell you? We wrote about this at Trojans Wire after the AP poll came out. If a Bo Nix team is ranked ahead of a Caleb Williams team in all 3 significant preseason polls, that means that the coaches, the Pac-12 media, and the AP voters, they all think the USC defense is going to be pretty bad. Like, that's the only verdict you can really take. That you have to assume that's the larger conclusion, that people think that the USC defense is going to hemorrhage points, hemorrhage yards, hemorrhage time of possession. That's the only way a Bo Nix team is going to finish ahead of a Caleb Williams team. So USC getting some good defensive news in August camp. Solomon Byrd, the pass rusher who transferred in from Wyoming, he's gotten a lot of positive reviews. So he could be a new and important piece on the defensive line. Mekhi Blackman's been the defensive star of August camp, the transfer from Colorado. And there are other depth pieces on the defense. Sierra Wright has gotten some mention in the secondary as someone who has really improved as the coaches have been able to see him practice in August. So Lincoln Riley, last Friday, he talked about how between summer enrollees coming into the program, and also players who were injured in the spring, but now are able to practice in August, Domani Jackson fits that bill. There's a lot more depth. There are several more bodies on the field for practice compared to the spring. And that depth seems to be making its presence felt. Those depth pieces seem to be coming along the way Lincoln Riley wants. Now, we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves based on a couple weeks of practice, but it does seem to be that the defense is evolving reasonably. We obviously need to see this unit tested by fire, especially Stanford in week 2. Like, that's going to be the first notable test. We'll see where they are. But all things considered, from the reports coming in about the USC defense, you are seeing some depth pieces and some new names making their presence felt. That's exactly what USC and its fans need to hear.